In the audition, the sides, Bobby was allergic to nuts, and there was a whole scene with his EpiPen and talking about it. And I had heard from a friend who had auditioned for the same part, actually, and they told me about the story of how Adam and Zach got the part. Pitching themselves as the directors, they went in with Warner Brothers or New Line or whatever executives they were meeting with, and during their director pitch, they had a conversation and they were talking to camera while the back of their fireplace caught on fire, and then it spread to the walls, to the paintings, went to the roof, and the entire room was on fire. And it turned out they were in a set, and they had staged that whole thing because they were just such big fans. So I was like, okay, these guys like when you swing big. In the audition, obviously I didn't have the money to set up a stage like that, but I brought my real EpiPen. And so we were doing the scene, and they were like, so do you know anything about Al? Like, have you ever experienced something like that? And I was like, yeah, actually I brought my EpiPen. And I saw a little twinkle in their eye. I feel like that's when I booked it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it's pretty intimidating, you know? I mean, obviously as any actor, it's super exciting with a big piece of kind of IP like this, where you're kind of stepping into the, I don't know, the sixth version of the franchise, and there's millions of people that love it. But at the same time, you know, being 14 and a half years or 14 and some odd years later, obviously they were gonna have to kind of not reinvent the wheel, but maybe paint it a little bit, you know, and change things up for the audience, which can seem like a little bit of a roll of the dice. So I was nervous, but I remember getting the breakdown and seeing John Watt's name on there, and then seeing Zach and Adam, and going back and seeing their history with horror, and then of course Craig and Sheila, who kind of created this entire universe, certainly gave me more confidence. And obviously I was gonna jump into it. I wasn't gonna let something like this slide. So in the audition, obviously I didn't have the money to set up a stage like that, but I brought my real EpiPen. And so we were doing the scene, and they were like, so do you know anything about Al? Like, have you ever experienced something like that? And I was like, yeah, actually I brought my EpiPen. And I saw a little twinkle in their eye. I feel like that's when I booked it. Yeah, I didn't. And everybody that loved the show is so loving, and they're carrying it on today. I mean, there's still people that are excited, and once in a while you'll see a petition for season 2, and I want to find those people and give them a hug and just let them know it's probably not gonna happen, you know, 4 years later. But I felt pretty confident working with someone like Kenny Ortega. You can kind of go, you know what, I don't think this has to be my greatest work for it to be successful, you know? So obviously a lot of people have success in him because he's just, I don't know, he's the magic man. He's the magical man. I don't know how else to put it. And so I wasn't that surprised when it was an older group, because Kenny Ortega, you know, started High School Musical, and then I think he brought some of that fan base into us, and they accepted us with open arms. Yeah, it was certainly a nerve-wracking thing. I find that most of my characters just end up being anxious because I'm anxious. I remember I got the part, and then they called me and said, you know that it's a queer character. Or I guess it went around casting that they didn't know, or they thought I was queer or something. And I remember getting all nervous, and then Kenny called me. And I said, Kenny, I will, if you give me the green light, then I know it's okay. And he did. And I think it was important to him. He said, well, this isn't about him. He's a character with struggles, but he just happens to be queer. It's not about, you know. So he was like, take it and run with it, Owen. I said, okay, Kenny, if you say so. And everyone was so loving and so accepting. And they said that, you know, it meant a lot to a lot of people, which is something I wasn't expecting or didn't know I'd kind of have the honor to be for some people, you know?